National Report Court is back in session just in time for Cyber Monday. Sony is facing a $7.9 billion lawsuit over claims the PlayStation maker, the gaming console, abused its dominant position, leading to unfair prices for customers. And it's on behalf of the nearly 9 million people in the United Kingdom who had bought digital games or add-on content through Sony's PlayStation store.
We are taking up this case for National Report Court today with Andrew Lieb. He is a discrimination attorney and managing attorney at Lieb at Law, and Rich Nichols, an attorney and Democratic strategist. Now, gentlemen, for the purpose of this segment, Andrew, you will represent the consumer advocate who's suing on behalf of PlayStation customers. Rich, you get to defend Sony. So, the lawsuit claims that the company abused its dominant position by requiring digital games and add-ons to be bought and sold only via the PlayStation Store, and they charge a 30% commission to developers and publishers. It alleges that customers, therefore, paid higher prices than they would have otherwise. Andrew, is this a strong case?
I feel like on behalf of one of the consumers that it couldn't get any stronger. I played PlayStation last night. When you're playing Fortnite, you got to pay for this, you got to pay for that. I'm on NHL, and this is just UK. So let's back it down and make it really simple. I'm not a UK lawyer, but they could expect to get sued in other countries like the US too, because here's what they're doing. They're saying we're going to have a marketplace for digital downloads, add-ons, purchasing games, in-game purchases, and everything's going to be marked up 30%. And you know that 30%, you know how we can get that? We're not going to let developers sell it at any other shops. It's Cyber Monday. You couldn't get it on any other cyber store. And maybe if there was market pressure, if we were in the US and we were talking about anti-competitive practices with the Sherman Act, or maybe in New York with the Donnelly Act, we'd see this monopoly, this conspiracy with developers. So a consumer like myself that's trying to battle royale in the Fortnite, I can't get the passes I need to do what I need to do to win because it's too expensive. They're trying to push people out. This is an easy slam dunk case because they're not letting anyone else compete or have a marketplace. It would be like you having your own flea market but not letting any people that sell there sell at any other flea markets. Sony is using their dominant market position so wrongfully, and they're going to pay for it.
Let me jump in here with Sony's response. Rich, listen to this. Sony's attorneys arguing the case was, quote, flawed from the start to finish and said it should be thrown out. Rich, what would be the defense here from Sony?
Well, first and foremost, Andrew, no one's twisting your arm to buy the PlayStation console and to play the games. And truth be told, all the major gaming consoles companies charge the same 30% markup for their in-game content. Microsoft does it, Nintendo does it, and Sony does it too. So it's commonplace in the market, and it's voluntary. It's voluntary for you to participate. The prices are fully disclosed. No one is holding your feet to the fire and telling you can't continue on with the game if you don't buy this stuff. You can buy it outside of the product if you like to. You won't be able to use it in the game, but you can buy it elsewhere. And there's no evidence yet presented that even if the 30% price was reduced, it was going to bring a lower price to the consumer. So this lawsuit is your typical class action lawsuit filed against the biggest company on the face of the earth that produces gaming opportunities, and that they make the most money. They've got the deepest pocket, and that's what class action lawyers do.
All right, your rebuttal to that.
It's a very simple rebuttal to just put out there. My arm was twisted because once I'm in the ecosystem, once I buy Sony, I can't buy anything elsewhere. He said I could buy add-ons elsewhere. I can't buy add-ons elsewhere. I'm in the middle of a game. I'm trying to get something, and there's only one option to purchase it. I should be able to go into a public marketplace and buy it and make it work. The fact that other bad actors, you know, two wrongs don't make a right. The fact that Microsoft does this too just says they should get sued too. All these companies should allow third parties to be able to sell the same product that they're selling. I shouldn't be tied in, locked in, and not be able to get out. That's what's wrong here. They're not allowing competition.
We'll find out really quickly. I'll end with Rich on this, if you wanted to give a last comment there in response to Andrew. But also, you know, he mentioned Microsoft, or you mentioned Microsoft. You've got Xbox out there. You've got the Nintendo Switch, and all of them have moved to digital and buying content digitally. Do you think you could see more class action lawsuits like the one we're seeing with Sony and particularly PlayStation?
You know, this lawsuit was filed by one of the biggest and oldest class action law firms in the world, Milberg, and they painstakingly decide which defendants to choose to go after, and they chose Sony because Sony has a deeper pocket. If they're not successful here, maybe they'll go after Microsoft, maybe they'll go after Nintendo. But this is a money play for the lawyers. This is not a consumer. It's supposed to be a consumer lawsuit to help consumers. This is for the lawyers. Lawyers make more money than the consumers will ever save by success from this lawsuit.
Stand by, Andrew, Rich, if you can. You've both made cases, excellent cases here. We want to bring in Shahar Azani. He is the former spokesperson for the Israeli consulate in New York to play a different role here for us, if you can. Shahar, judge and jury for this edition of National Report. You've listened to both arguments on here. Where would you fall if you were among the jury pool?
Well, I think it's very, very clear. Andrew made an extremely convincing case. Two wrongs don't make a right. And the fact that Sony is playing greed doesn't mean that we should allow everybody across the board to play greed at the expense of our pockets and our teenagers. It's time that we go easy on that greed, especially on Cyber Monday, and take it easy, especially with a closed-up arena like the online gaming arena. So take it easy, and at the end, long-term, Rich, the consumer will make money, even if the lawyers make some along the way.
Well, I'm with you guys, too. I'm a big video gamer myself. I'm on Xbox all the time, and they get me all the time, too. I keep buying the add-on stuff. I need all the specialties, too. So
that was going to be my question for you. Will you still be a customer with all this?
Oh, yeah, I'll buy it. Oh, this one's only $4.99.
Right.
Okay, click. It all adds up, though.
Shots
Gentlemen,
like
yeah, excellent. We appreciate that. Shahar, thank you. Andrew and Rich, have a great one.
Okay.
Thank you.